Meghan Markle and Prince Harry's podcasting deal with Spotify has ended. The audio streaming giant and the Duke and Duchess of Sussex's company, Archewell Audio, announced in a joint statement on Thursday that their collaboration was over. It read, "Spotify and Archewell Audio have mutually agreed to part ways and are proud of the series we made together." The series they made together was Meghan's podcast, Archetypes. The podcast's goal was to, quote, investigate, dissect, and subvert the labels that try to hold women back, per its Spotify description. Meghan launched the show last summer, and season 1 featured interviews between her and superstars like Serena Williams, Mariah Carey, Jamila Jamil, Issa Rae, and Mindy Kaling. A representative for Spotify told NBC News that their and Archewell's split meant that Spotify would not pick up Archetypes for a second season. A rep from Meghan's talent agency, WME, told the Wall Street Journal in a statement, "The team behind Archetypes remain proud of the podcast they created at Spotify. Meghan is continuing to develop more content for the Archetypes audience on another platform." Harry and Meghan's company struck their exclusive deal with Spotify back in 2020. The couple said in part in a statement at the time, "What we love about podcasting is that it reminds all of us to take a moment to really listen, to connect to one another without distraction." The Spotify deal was one of the Sussex's first major business deals, following their move to the United States and step back from royal life in the UK. This spring, Harry has made 2 trips back to his home country, earlier this month for an appearance in court, and last month for his father, King Charles's coronation. DailyMail.com's Charlie Langston previously broke down his coronation visit for Access Hollywood.
His trip was incredibly quick. We are talking less than 29 hours in the UK. It really was a fly-in, fly-out situation. Interestingly, he flew commercial, so he's maybe starting to take on board all of that criticism about his decision to fly in private jets. He flew on American Airlines over to the UK, flew on British Airways back from the UK. He landed in LA at about 6:30 p.m., so Archie may not have been prepared to party through the night. Obviously, he's only 4 years old, but Harry did make it back in time to spend a good period with his son on his birthday weekend, which we know was incredibly important to the Duke of Sussex.
And when Harry was in town, who did he talk to?
Well, publicly, Harry was seen chatting with Beatrice, Eugenie, their husbands. He also had a bit of a joke with the Archbishop of Canterbury, Justin Welby. But on the whole, we really didn't see Harry interacting a huge amount with his immediate family. There were no public interactions with William and Kate, nothing with Charles. I mean, Harry pretty much arrived for the ceremony, went into the Abbey with Eugenie and Beatrice, and then left straight after. There wasn't any time for him to hang out with his family. Now, one thing that we know Charles was a bit disappointed by was Harry's decision to skip the private luncheon that took place after that wonderful Buckingham Palace balcony moment. We do know that Harry was extended an invitation, that he was asked to stay and attend, but he chose to go back to LA so that he could be there with his family for Archie's birthday. And we know that the other members of the royal family were a bit let down by that, although a few royal aides may have been breathing a big sigh of relief because it meant that the kind of, possibility of more controversy had been taken away.
Do you think it was hard for him to avoid talking to William, or were they like 2 ships passing in the night?
Given how busy the day was, there really wasn't a huge amount of opportunity for any awkward interaction. As we saw, Harry was seated in the 3rd row behind Anne's enormous feathered hat, and William and Kate were right up there at the front, in on all the action. William had a wonderful moment during the coronation where he pledged his loyalty to his father. I think that must have been quite hard for Harry to watch, knowing that that is a role that he too was supposed to have taken on. But on the whole, there weren't any private gatherings before that Buckingham Palace luncheon that Harry chose to skip. So there wasn't really an opportunity for anyone to have a private conversation because all efforts, at least as far as Kate, William, the rest of the royal family were concerned, were focused entirely on ensuring that the coronation went off without a hitch. So during that luncheon that I spoke of at Buckingham Palace, it was a very private, intimate event, an opportunity for Charles and Camilla to celebrate and toast the day's proceedings with their nearest and dearest. The guest list was restricted to friends, very tight-knit friends, and family. Harry was indeed supposed to be there. He chose not to attend, but King Charles still found a way to pay tribute to his missing son. He did a toast in which he honored his grandchildren, including George, Charlotte, and Louis, who obviously were all at the coronation, but he also toasted to his grandchildren who were not there, and he wished Archie a very happy birthday, interestingly adding the line, wherever he may be, which suggests that Charles didn't even know how Meghan and Harry were planning to celebrate Archie's birthday this weekend, which just gives you another indication of how big that rift between them has become.